Hey everyone, welcome back to Obscurus Lupa Presents. We're taking things back to Hollywood today and looking at a mostly forgotten comedy called My Boyfriend's Back. Here's the plot in a nutshell. Our main character is Johnny Dingle.
Your last name is Dingle?
Well, you know what they say, the worse the last name, the hotter the guy.
Johnny has a crush on that one chick from Fright Night Part 2 and gets the chance to go to the prom with her, except him dying kinda gets in the way. Determined to get that dance, Johnny comes back from the dead and must then overcome prejudice, fear, and hate from a world that doesn't understand him. It's truly a tale of rising against the odds, changing the world, and touching on deep, heart-wrenching issues. In short, it's a guy who became a zombie because he thought some chick was hot. I think in some ways this movie started my whole fascination with the horror comedy genre. Not because it was particularly good, or that I even watched it all the way through, but because I always remembered watching one particular scene on TV and that stuck with me. At the time, I thought it looked scary, gross, and had a strange sense of humor to it, but I could never figure out what film I had watched until years later. When I eventually sat down and watched the whole movie, well, let's just say that things are scarier through nostalgia goggles. This movie may have gotten me interested in horror comedies, but it's also a lesson in how not to make one. There are some elements that work, but there are far more that don't. So let's bury this sucker. What's that music? Is that supposed to be like the song, My Boyfriend's Back? What, they couldn't afford the rights to the song they named the movie after? Right, okay. Well, I guess the name still counts, right?
All my life, I've been in love with Missy McLeod.
He's not even her boyfriend? Points lost, movie. Anyway, the movie starts with a flashback to Missy's birthday party. Why the children are dressed as Native Americans and Austrians, and why Johnny is dressed like a fireman, I do not know.
Over the next 12 years, I lusted after Missy.
On the 13th year, he was thrown in jail and met his life partner Jimmy. Boy, this movie sure took a strange turn.
Well, my love for Missy drove me to do the most unimaginable thing one human being can do to another.
He made them watch Pocket Ninjas, no!
My story begins at the end of my senior year in high school. On the historic day after Missy broke up with Buck Van Patten.
Just look at the artwork here. Why does he have devil eyebrows? He looks like he's a voice inside Missy's head. Yes, Missy, kill him. Kill your parents too. Mwah! And what 90s movie would be complete without a waking up montage?
Dune.
Dune? He has concealer? Gay. Edward Herman? Oh, come on, you were in The Lost Boys. Don't you have, like, real movies to be in?
Oh, you're gonna ask your own mother, eh?
You'll notice that most of the people in this movie are living cartoon characters. Because that equals comedy, right?
Hi.
When the side characters and greetings, cause it's the credits, the opening credits. The theme of the dance is I'm in heaven. Get it?
That's Missy, all grown up.
And she was only held back twice.
That's my friend Eddie. He's a dick, but I like him.
Play tonight! Personal foul. The challenger, Johnny Dingle, is not using a regulation size unit. He's disqualified!
This is the most pathetic sexual fantasy I've ever seen.
Say goodnight, sex boy.
No!
So Johnny finally gets the courage to ask Missy to the prom, when of course we need the stereotypical dick ex-boyfriend to show up. With a band. Because he does that. By the way, Philip Seymour Hoffman, you can dry your tears over being in this movie with your Oscar. The boyfriend was an actor in Lost. I've never watched any Lost, I'm just mentioning it because I know you want me to. The ex, Buck, makes up with Missy and asks her to the prom. That's right, Johnny, make sure you're framed in there.
What are you looking at?
An award-winning actor's embarrassing early performance?
Well, that blew ropey goat chunks now, didn't it?
So Johnny's brilliant plan for getting Missy to go to the prom with him is to have Eddie dress up like a burglar and beat him up, thus saving Missy's life. You could also try to be charming and just ask her or whatever, but hey, that burglar plan works too. Wait, no, a real burglar shows up and kills him. Time for ultra dramatic slow-mo.
Look out!
Would you like to go to the prom with me?
Sure.
Great.
Look, we're either sad about it or we're not. You can't have it both ways.
What once was is no longer. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, thanks for that music cue, movie. I wasn't sure if it was okay to laugh or not.
I made you bologna and mustard. With the edges cut off.
Okay, I gotta dock a point for that one. Our main character is dead, so things are going well so far. Just for shits and giggles, though, the movie is going to attempt to start the plot. Hey, this is kind of badass.
Oh, hi there.
Ruined it. This kindly groundskeeper explains to Johnny that he's a zombie now, but apparently making his way out of the grave didn't clue him in. Johnny insists he's still alive and rushes off to go home.
Johnny! If you leave, you'll...
Oh, what?
You'll find out.
I could tell you, but that would only save lives. Oh well, back to doing whatever the hell it is that I do.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Johnny.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to give you a C for effort on that one, guys.
You know, son, your mother and I, and the ambulance driver, and the coroner, and the embalmer, we're all pretty much convinced that you were dead.
I got better.
Are you hungry? Do you want something to eat? There's a lot of food left over from the funeral.
Look, I'm not expecting much, movie. But when you see a zombie, this is what you do.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh, he's got armor! Get him!
I guess the ultra-casual attitude was supposed to be funny, but it just doesn't work here. I get that that's supposed to be the joke, but you can have, like, real reactions from people. Really, movie, it's okay to not try to be funny all the time. So Johnny's chilling in his room in an awkwardly blocked scene where he's changing his shirt and notices that bullets tend to leave holes.
Oh my God. I am dead.
You crawled out of your coffin! No kidding, dipshit! Instead of focusing on the emotional resonance of that scene and having Johnny cope with having been killed, let's just have some more comedy with the parents. That seems to be working.
The reason I called is our son, Johnny, died the other day, and I was wondering if you could take a look at him.
This isn't how people react! Just because you're okay with being a zombie doesn't mean people don't need an explanation, Johnny.
Hi, buddy. Hey!
I don't care what you say, he's still the funniest actor in the movie. Much to Johnny's surprise, being a recently reanimated corpse does not go over well with Missy.
I'm just dead. It's not like I'm an asshole or anything.
Johnny tries to eat something, but finds that regular food is disgusting now. But luckily Eddie's arm happens to be nearby. What's that? I feel some comedy music coming on.
What? What do you mean, what? You just tried to take a bite out of my arm!
It's just gonna be a little bite.
Johnny, you shouldn't be taking any bites.
Holy crap, was that whole scene funny? Oh, gosh, movie, I didn't expect that. Alright, you get 2 points for that one. Johnny asks Missy what time he should pick her up for the prom, but Missy just doesn't seem to want to go to the dance with a rotting corpse for some reason. He asks her on a date when Buck and Philip Seymour Hoffman show up.
Dead little snot.
Yeah, all of his lines are dubbed. Just a forewarning.
We're watching you, dead boy. We don't like your kind. You're stinking up the whole school.
Subtle parallel to racism? I mean, I guess this is kinda like that. But stupid. Buck is acting like an asshole, so Missy agrees to the date with Johnny. Then he becomes a snake man. Missy and Johnny go to see a zombie movie, and the viewers make the sad realization that the filmmakers actually knew how to make cool zombies, but decided against it. Also, Matthew McConaughey is watching them from the audience. Huh. Didn't see that one coming. Okay, what other respected actor is shaming themselves with this? Cloris Leachman? You were famous by then, you didn't need to check that badly. Meanwhile, Missy and Johnny's date is going well. Guess he could have tried that whole being charming thing before he died, but whatever.
Zombies! Like seven, like that!
Wacky close-up, no! Missy and Johnny start making out when gross things happen.
Oh, ew.
Ooh, I bet he's so glad she didn't give him a blowjob. After some horribly dubbed in oh shits,
Oh, shit.
Johnny decides to go to a doctor.
Dr. Bronson. Yes. I'm dead.
Music's too wacky. Okay, movie, you lost your funny joke count for that one.
Okay, well, you're dead, which is unusual because we don't normally see this much activity in a dead person. Is that your ear, then?
It fell off about 20 minutes ago.
Hello? Hello? I'm just teasing. I keep it.
See, movie, you would have gotten 2 funny joke counts for those, but you blew it. After confirming that Johnny is in fact dead, he leaves Dr. Bronson with a skin sample that he can run some tests on. After gluing his ear back on, he's sent to see Maggie Benson, whose husband became a zombie 15 years ago.
So it ripped right off in her mouth, did it?
Yes, ma'am. Right off.
That must have been so embarrassing.
Well, at least Cloris Leachman wasn't in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4. McConaughey. We learn a couple things from the scene. 1, Cloris Leachman is a much better actress than this role calls for, and 2, Johnny must eat the flesh of the living if he wants to live long enough to go to the prom the next night. Later, Missy visits Johnny in his room. That's not how decay works!
Minor setback!
The slapstick, it's overwhelming! Ah, it's a dream sequence. What a fucking surprise. Johnny has to explain the whole decaying thing to Missy, and apparently that's a big turn on. However, Philip Seymour Hoffman has to overact some more.
Damn it! Holy! Come here, you stinking dead Yahoo toucher!
Yahoo toucher? Is he speaking a language he made up himself?
Come here, you stinking dead Yahoo toucher!
What is a Yahoo toucher? So Philip has accidentally axed himself in the head, and Johnny has someone to eat. Isn't it great when the plot is convenient? And since zombies need to eat the flesh of the living to survive, then that means that he was still alive as Johnny slowly ate his remains. Haha, what a hilarious comedy! The wackiness continues as Philip's dad finds out that he's dead. Hilarious!
Did you by any chance murder a boy in school today?
It wasn't murder, it was an accident.
Flesh of the living! So Johnny's mom decides to fix things by picking up something for him to eat.
You picked up a little kid?
This is fucked up! It's not funny, movie! There's a knock on the door and Johnny hides the little kid. They have a theme song? Really? So Philip's dad, Big Chuck, is slightly angry due to the whole murder of his child, and he and his gang try to shoot Johnny. This works about as well as shooting a zombie usually goes, and then we discover that the little boy is Chuck's other son. You see, it's funny because they murdered one of his sons, and then kidnapped the other one with the intent to eat him. Oh, you guys. Johnny goes to see Missy the next day, and she's a bit angry about the cannibalism.
You may not know this, Missy, but I ate Chuck for you.
That's beautiful. I mean, life had no meaning before this. I was an empty shell of a person, but now I can go on living knowing that after all is said and done, he ate Chuck for her. I didn't mean any of that. That's still really fucked up. Really? That's gonna play every time he comes on screen?
Hey, what are you doing?
Shut up, you little zombie slut.
Truly, no one knows more prejudice than the undead.
Tramp!
Zombie lover.
Whore of the undead.
I got nothing. Missy's dad shows up and decides he needs to meet Johnny's parents, which leads to this awkward dinner scene in which Johnny's mother has brought him home a body from the mortuary. Oh, come on! That doesn't even fit in with the rules! He's dead! Mr. McCloud refuses to let Johnny take Missy to the prom, and then this happens.
And what can I get for Madame?
Duck, please.
May I suggest the delicious buffet?
This is the buffet?
Johnny, don't do that. Oh.
Hilarious.
Not so easy, is it?
There's smart ass.
What's easy?
I'm splitting my sides.
Oh, you can kiss that calf muscle goodbye, fat man.
I heard the guppies could have...
Oh my gosh, this is so funny.
Don't you want to eat me?
Well...
Gut busting. Missy and Johnny decide to sneak off to the prom together anyway, but once Johnny tries to take a bite out of her, he changes his mind. Meanwhile, the filmmakers decided there wasn't enough plot here, and Dr. Bronson has discovered that zombie flesh can be used to make people young again. That doesn't make any sense. So he takes Johnny back to the lab so he can use his body to make a serum that gives people younger looking skin. I'm sorry, I don't know at what point this other film hijacked my boyfriend's back.
Oh my god, are you okay?
Where is he?
Well, that went nowhere. Thanks for wasting my time, movie. An angry mob chases Johnny into the cemetery, and through a few touching speeches and the groundskeeper pretending he was an actual character here, Missy's dad and the mob are convinced to let Johnny and Missy have one dance. The two of them get to have their moment before Johnny's strength gives out and he starts to die for realsies on the dance floor.
He's still cold.
Hey, Eddie has a date. Good on him, man.
I love you.
You heard it. He loves her.
Ah, there you are.
What?
When you die, you are supposed to come directly here. You are not supposed to climb out of the grave, muck around on Earth, waiting to die a second time!
Oh, fuck this noise. Overly British guy explains that Johnny wasn't really supposed to die because they screwed up, which is why he was brought back as a zombie to determine his worth, I guess. Via the power of Deus Ex Machina, Johnny is brought back to the night he was shot and his life is saved by Missy's locket. This apparently makes her love him and they go to the dance together. So that's right, nothing after the 12-minute mark in this movie actually happened. Haha, screw you, movie. Let's get right down to it. Was My Boyfriend's Back a good movie? Well, kinda. I find it's a bit of a guilty pleasure sometimes, despite its faults. It's certainly not my favorite movie of all time, but there are some bits that do work. I think part of the problem lies in that they try too hard to make everything funny all the time, which just makes it cartoonish and has the main characters come off as assholes. It might be played for laughs, but the main character kills someone and his parents kidnap a child and steal a corpse. They tried to make a zombie movie and give it a happy ending, and all of the negative implications of being a corpse seem to be swept under the rug. The only scene that seems to have any emotional resonance is when Johnny is dying at the dance, because that's really the only time anyone takes anything seriously. However, there are some genuinely funny performances here at times, and if the doctor plot had been dropped and certain things had taken a more serious tone, I think it would have been a lot better movie. Next week, I'm going to review a truly great film. Get ready for some action-packed cinema, folks.
This is Burn
Why would birds do something like that? I mean, why would they just attack?
I don't know.
My boyfriend's back and you're gonna be in trouble. Hey la, my boyfriend's back. See him coming, better cut out on the double. Hey la, my boyfriend's back.
Poor of the undead.